Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and AMD and Intel's marketings have been having a few oddities. Let's start out with the AMD side of things with AMD marketing. Yeah, and before start out with the kind of the down news, which is the bulldozer settlement from AMD. So this is kind of like the downside of AMD's marketing with the bulldozer. Now, this is in California. I didn't read too much into it because guess what? I don't live in California, so it didn't really apply to me that much. But I was kind of interested in following this. I think that, from a technical standpoint, they really didn't have any grants to stand on, saying that AMD, trying to determine what a core is. But that's just kind of my thing. Somehow either AMD just tried to kick this can down and just settled it, and who knows what the settlement is. Maybe they were just settling, or I guess we do know what the settlement is. I didn't read that much into it, but companies can always go through and settle it without admitting that they were wrong too, so that could be out there. But the more interesting thing is the AMD BIOS news from AMD in general, but I will kind of put this on AMD marketing a little bit based upon some of the videos that were out there saying where boost should be of these Ryzen 3rd generation CPUs. Now, when you're saying that it could go 200 megahertz above that, boost clock speed roughly because of PBO and other things that AMD has on it, then why isn't it, right? If AMD is really kind of saying that, and then from their marketing side, and it's not even hitting just the advertised boost speed, then there's something out there that either is being miscommunicated or AMD marketing is just screwing up. And AMD came out with a BIOS update that's being released to the vendors, and that should be soon pushed to us depending upon your vendor or your motherboard, so that we can then now use something that can, if you have a Ryzen 3000, that'll boost to the maximum boost speed. So that time will tell if this has a negative effect or if this actually does what AMD claims, which is now you can actually hit your advertised boost for a little bit longer, at least on a single core. And I don't know if there's going to be any negative side effects. There could be, right? There could be based on silicon stuff and everything else that it could determine different stuff. Could have a shorter lifespan on the chip. Who knows? I think that this has been a blemish on a Ryzen 3000 launch that otherwise has been pretty good. And we already know that certain motherboards boost differently than other ones. And this is all coming down to kind of what AMD has done with their dynamic chips and how they are bend and everything else, as well as how motherboards are designed, right? They're taking more power thermals or power into effect. And who knows if the BIOS tweaking as well was part of that. I'm a software developer, and guess what? There's bugs in software. We try not to do it, and for some reason, bugs show up in the weirdest ways when you don't expect or even think it should happen that way. So maybe AMD did actually find a bug, and now we have to just believe or hope that their fix actually fixes it. And time will tell to see if this is fixed, right? There's been a lot more microcode on these chips than there used to be in the past. And with more microcode, that means there's more software side implementations of things that can cause more issues. So I do hope that that is all fixed out here, and people that bought those chips are hitting those advertised boost speeds here very soon. If you haven't watched Bauer's video on kind of what he got on the boost speeds, that'd be a good one to watch too. AMD marketing needs to get better at it. If this was a bug that they known about, they should have came out earlier and notified the users about that they were fixing it. Don't let people like the Bauer have to go through things and have to get a whole bunch of data just to go get something out. Granted, he got views on it, which is great for him, but he had to do a lot of work gathering all that data, bringing it all down to what is concise, and then delivering it out. And then AMD makes this comment that they're doing a BIOS fix. Come on, AMD. That should be something you notify before, especially if people are looking at that and are questioning it. People want answers, and even if you release a product and there's still something that needs to be tweaked out, that would be something that would be upfront and honest that you should be doing to treat your customers right. So there is that side of things. And I do want to say this though, that I really like the way processors should be going or are going, which is we are boosting to the full maximum potential of a chip. So you don't have to do much tweaking. no tweaking at all, and you will get full performance of whatever that chip can do. Depending on like a silicon lottery, whatever else, you get that full potential of chip. That's where we should be going, especially with users that overclock their chip, and users that do. They want the full potential of what they bought, and this is a good stepping stone to get there. Hopefully, everyone else and more people are jumping on board to this type of thing in different architectures and everything else. So I'm excited to see what the potential will get to in the future, so that we just get full control. Over time, that always works, right? Things that were done manually get automated a little bit, and this is one more step in that. Now let's kind of hit up Intel marketing. I wasn't going to leave them out, right? And Intel marketing is, I think, actually going after AMD quite nicely on this one, which is the 9900KS, a 5 gigahertz 9900K, which now is 5 gigahertz all the time. So Intel, I mean, I don't think this was that hard to do, since the 9900Ks were basically hitting 5 gigahertz already. But now they have a KS, so you can keep spending that money and getting that 9900K inside of your current system. But AMD, or Intel I should say, is going right after the 3950X, right? We haven't heard much about that, but I believe it's supposed to be out here in September, I think, right? So Intel's having a fun time going after that, and the 5 gigahertz, and AMD woes in there. Now, Intel marketing, ouch. For the bad side of things, we have Ryan Trout, formerly of PC Per, not remembering what he used to do, or I can't really put my finger on it. It's kind of shocking what was coming out, where he's getting data off of laptops and comparing what people do on laptops, 2-in-1s, or I think it was ultra thins, based upon Intel's data of what their software is installed on, which is the 2-in-1s and ultrabooks is what they said, and saying what software is used on desktops and how people use software. So they want real world benchmarks. If I recall correctly, Intel, you were the one that wanted synthetic benchmarks to prove that you were better before. I don't remember how many years that was, but I want to say 6, 7, 8 years, someplace in there. So now you want to step back, Intel, and go through and say, now we need real performance benchmarks, yet you only use real performance benchmarks. Guess when? From the thin and light section of the market, which doesn't make much sense. I do not run my thin and light applications, stuff on my Surface. I do not run normally like I do on my desktop. My desktop does a lot more heavy lifting. I'm rendering videos, I'm playing more games, and all that other stuff on my desktop. I am building software, etc. I don't like building software on my Surface. It takes a long time, right? I have a 16-core Threadripper here, first generation, and that takes already some time, a decent amount of time, to build the software I work on. So why would I even look at my Surface and take well over half an hour, probably closer to an hour, to build software? It makes no sense, Intel. So Intel, you got to straighten out that part of your marketing, because you said that this Ryan Schwartz was borrowed in for like performance metrics and making sure it's getting data out there. And now they even have their own blog, which is mind-boggling, Intel. Why should we even listen to you on stuff when you come up with this data like this? Same thing if AMD were to do it. That is ridiculous. If you want to do real-world applications, there is some people that could easily point you in the right direction of what people use on their desktops, especially high-end desktops, right? If you're doing like your 9900K, people are going to be focusing on gaming, doing videos, streaming, stuff like that. Even building some software on there, running high-end software, right? People want that ability. If they're going to do more basic tasks, Word and everything else, they're not looking for a 9900K. They aren't looking for a 3950X. They're a 3900X. They're not looking for a Threadripper. They're not looking for your X lineup of cards, right? So Intel, or CPUs. So Intel, just realize this. AMD, if you're going to do something, think about it through first. Yeah, ask somebody about it, and before you write the article, that is very sketch. So those are some things that are made me go ooh this week with Intel, or in the past week with AMD and Intel. Let me know if you guys seen anything else from them over the last week that's cringeworthy or even good, because I just can't believe what happened this last week. But with that, I want to know what your comments are below because I think that it is fun to read them, especially after what they just did. Um, but with that, I do want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for taking the time to help support Graverload and helping this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. I am sorry about the videos. The videos here for about the next 9 weeks plus may be a little slow on getting out. I got some personal issues I have to deal with here, and that's just the way life is. And so, yeah, I really do apologize, but I need to go elsewhere to really help out some people. So that is what is happening and why I haven't got a video out. I do appreciate it though that you guys are for your support and continuing to help this channel grow. That really is helpful in this time as well. So I want to say God bless. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.